Hi, my name is Jenny Lauren Dowden for Conduit News. Today we have Chris Corbitt joining us. He is an attorney there in Faulkner County and he's running for House District 55. Hi, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jenny. Thanks for having me back on the show.
Last time you were here, it's been several months ago, I believe,
Yes.
but you were talking about running for the Arkansas legislature. The lines were not officially drawn. You didn't know where you would land. Talk to us now about your run, the district, and how your campaign is going.
You bet. So yeah, when you first had me on, I was talking about running for the legislature, and I wasn't sure of whether I should go for the House seat or the Senate seat. And also the census, the 2020 census, the lines hadn't been drawn. And my thoughts were that the Arkansas Senate seat would be open, which it is, but that seat is currently occupied by Mark Johnson. And he's a friend, and I know his daughter. And I said, well, I'm not going to run against Mark Johnson. And I had spoken to the current House rep, which is Spencer Hawks. And I asked Spencer what he was going to do. Is he going to continue in the House or go for Senate? And he was unsure. But when he came out for Senate and chose to run against Mark Johnson, then of course the natural thing for me to do was to run for the House seat. And it's a nice little district. It's of course composed of 30,000 people. It's just right in my neighborhood. It's about a little rectangle from in Conway, from Prince Street down to Dave Ward, out to the river, and then into Conway, about the middle of Conway, near the Walgreens, Harpwriter, and Oak Street. So I'm excited about it, and the race has been going fantastic. I did not know how much I would enjoy it. I'm enjoying the fire out of it.
You are. Well, tell us, you're out there. I can only imagine you're out there talking to people, having fun with that. What are voters in your district telling you? What are they saying? Man, this really needs to
Yeah, that's a fantastic. So yeah, fantastic question. And I get that question a lot. And it's nice to be able to relay their concerns. The first ones they've been telling me about are taxes. They're like, the taxes and these small fees are crushing me. And they're exactly right. The state of Arkansas has a $970 billion surplus. I mean, $1 million. Might as well call it a billion.
I was like, did it change?
No, 970 million. I just call it a billion.
How did that? It's so much.
It is crazy. So when they talk about taxes, I'm like, yeah, let's reduce taxes and let's reduce spending. And I'm on the Dave Ellsworth show on Friday mornings, 101.1 The Answer. And we talk about a lot of revenue neutral things. The legislature has been Republican since 2012. They've controlled the House, the state, the governor's office. And we see them reducing the income state tax, but all these other fees have gone up. And you're at Conduit News, Jenny, I got to tell you, y'all do a fantastic presentation of some of our current sitting Republican Party members have voted for tax increases across the board. The internet tax, the utilities tax, the cell phone tax. These are taxes that are hitting every Arkansan, and it's hitting their pocketbook. And so, so one of my things I'm going to do if I get elected to go down there is cut some taxes. And on top of that, I want to cut fees. If I have enough time, I've got several stories, but here's a good one. The businesses I've been talking about, a lot of them are old school. They write out, they take their sales orders, and they have paper. They're not computer. They're not on the computer. And so one of the businesses said, hey, when I went to go online, the DFNA, Department of Finance Authority, charged me $50 just to start inputting my taxes onto their system. I mean, just outrageous. I thought, this is crazy. And so little fees like that. When I was a landlord in the city of North Little Rock, they charged me a landlord license. And when I had 5 houses, it was X amount of dollars. When I got 15 houses, it went up. I was like, this is just a tax. This is not a license. I'm already a landlord. So licenses are supposed to, tell the public you know what you're doing, like a doctor's license, or as in my case, and I'm an engineer. I'm also a lawyer, and so the public relies on those licenses. But when it's just a fee revenue, raising some sort of bureaucratic rule making that just charges fees, then it's out. It's got to go. And so those are the things that the taxes. The next thing I've got to tell you, the next thing, and it's one of the reasons I moved to Conway, is crime. They tell me taxes and they tell me crime.
Yeah, I bet. You're there in Central Arkansas. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think about that? What do you think
The
needs to be
crime,
changed?
it is, Jenny, it's outrageous. There's shootings every night. There's shots fired every night in Little Rock. And I sit outside here on Conway, and when it's nice outside, I have noticed an uptick in the sirens, the police sirens, the ambulance sirens. We just had here in Conway, we had to bring in a new ambulance service because it was taking them too long to get to it, to get to the patients. So there's some real problems with crime and healthcare, and so that's the things that I'm gonna be focusing on, and what my constituents want me to look at. Taxes, these out of control bureaucratic rules. They come in, they get audited over something real small. It's just crazy the amount of pressure that the government, when I say government, I mean city, county, and the
Right.
state.
Yeah.
And
No, yeah. I mean, at Conduit, we continuously say if you don't have economic freedom, you don't have any other freedoms to enjoy. And I think that's the thing about our state. And what is surprising to a lot of people, for instance, with our scorecard, we will have, Republican legislators knock it out of the park on the social issues, but then you switch over to the economic issues,
right.
and they are far down on the list, oftentimes voting for these tax increases. So I think that people need to be aware of that. I think it's surprising to them. And really, how do you reconcile that? If you are for a limited government, how do you continue to vote for those types of bills?
Yeah, it's outrageous. The propensity for government to grow is unlimited. It's
Yes,
just unlimited.
right.
And we've got right now, I think the last time I looked, there's 280,000 people in the state of Arkansas that work for the government. 280,000. Yeah, we're outnumbered. And
Yeah,
so when you go and you make a friendly phone call, say, hey, I think this is wrong, they just ignore you. So
yeah.
in my one of my reasons why I'm sitting here right now talking to you was I was a victim of crime in Little Rock 3 times. And I chose in 2018 to move up to Conway. It's been fantastic. A friend of mine, Robbie Wills, the former Speaker of the House, he said, you need to move to Conway. I took his advice. It's been fantastic. And, school choice was a big deal. Schools up here are fantastic. And I was on the charter. I was on the board of the East End Charter School down in Little Rock. And people have asked me about, public schools and charter schools. That's kind of a big issue. So I've been telling them what I think about that as a former elementary board member of the East End Charter School. It's easy to know where I stand on charter schools.
Tell us where you stand on charter schools and school choice.
I think charter schools are fantastic. It's called competition. If the public schools ain't getting it done, you got a choice. And we ran East End Charter School with $6,000 per student. This was 5 and 8 years ago. I think that dollar amount per student is around $7,000 now, up to 7,000 and some change. That money should follow the student. So, and they need to have the ability to leave school choice.
I think that a lot of parents would agree with you on that. You have also fought very hard for constitutional carry rights.
Yes.
I believe you have 2 or 3 lawsuits pending right now with Professor Steinbuck. Talk to us about those and why they're so important right now.
So these lawsuits, there's 3 lawsuits. We have one against the city of Little Rock, the one against Pulaski County, and also one against the state Arkansas Game and Fish. And there was an illegal sign here in Faulkner County, and because of those lawsuits, and because of what I call chutzpah, was what Steinbuck may say. It takes, you have to push, you have to fight, and you have to push a little bit. So I was able to send one email, and this illegal sign came down on the Faulkner County Tax Assessor's Office. It basically made you a felon if you brought a concealed carry gun in there. And so the law is real simple. The one against the county, I can do it in a nutshell here. It says an officer of the court has the right to carry a gun into the courthouse. Now, a courtroom, I can say, is probably separate. A judge, that's his prerogative. Um, but the law is real simple. An officer of the court can carry a weapon. In City Hall, they had a sign up. Mayor Scott down there, like call him King Scott, he just put a sign up, said you can't carry a gun into City Hall. Wait a minute, wait a minute. I can carry my concealed handgun into the state capitol, but I can't go into City Hall. It's just, it doesn't pass the gut check. It's like this is ridiculous.
Right.
And then the county one, I mean, the Arkansas State Game and Fish, we have a hearing coming up in I think April 26th. They have a sign up saying you can't carry a weapon into their field house, which is just ridiculous. They want you to set it down outside. I said, hey guys, I look at these signs and it's illegal. I made the phone call. I asked nicely. They didn't want to follow the law, so we filed suit. And that's essentially what I'll do as a state legislature. We get down there and I see some unconstitutional laws. I see something that oppresses the people and is giving too much power to the government, like these mask mandates, these vaccination requirements, stuff like that. I'm just going to say, guys, it's against the law. If you pass this, I'm going to be the plaintiff. We're going to file suit in the judiciary branch. And that's what Steinbuck and I have been doing, and especially on the gun lawsuits. And it's been we're gonna come out on the winning side on that.
Well, and today, of course, there was that tragic shooting in Sacramento.
Right.
Anytime that something like that happens, it seems as though the liberals use that as a renewed push for gun laws. Of course, Biden came out talking about additional gun laws. And
right.
Where do you stand with that? What do you think? How do you balance those two?
Yeah, so it's real simple. Guns do not kill people. People kill people. That's right.
Yes.
See, it's so simple. It's like, I mean, I know this sounds simple, but cars don't kill people. People in the cars kill people. We're going to ban cars? No, but you have to have a license to drive a car. And me and Steinbuck, we comply with all the rules. I don't like giving them that inch because they tend to take a mile. But for them to use these tragedies, and that's what they are, tragedies, and there's criminals out there using these weapons to really hurt people. They need that comes along with what I suggest to handle this crime. We need more cops. We need better pay. We need 2 officers per squad car. And we also need, right now, we need state intervention. And I think those 4 things would help to bring this crime level down. But it's sure not gonna help by disarming me or imposing new laws that hurt law-abiding citizens. Right. So it's just
you have an opponent in this primary race. I thought this was a little bit interesting. You've been painted as a Democrat.
I did. I was stunned. He was at a rally. Yeah. And he said, he literally said, he's a defender of Second Amendment rights. And my question is, how? Or really, what have you done to defend Second Amendment? I'm the one that got the sign taken down in your county while you're a justice of the peace. I sent an email in 2 days, it came down. What was he doing? He was collecting his per diem, $575 per month to attend the last meeting was 45 minutes. And so yeah, he painted me as a Democrat because of my voting record. And I think I should explain that. Yes, I did
the
vote.
Record straight.
Yeah, I did vote in a Democratic primary. I voted for Robbie Wills. He's my friend. He's smart, top bar exam. He was the best candidate, and I wanted to see him win that race. And to paint me as a Democrat because I voted in a Democratic primary is just wrong. Robbie Wills is a great friend. I moved up here to Conway. One of the reasons was because of him. He loved Conway. He's always raving about Conway. He was elected to the House. A lot of Conwaynians voted for him. He was a former Speaker of the House, and he and I, a lot of our values align. And I got to tell you, what's interesting about that is when you get somebody down there, I know it's a Republican majority, but if a Democrat has a good idea, I'm going to listen to it. But if it takes power away from the people, if it takes power away from the people and gives more power to the government, or it's going to tax us more, I'm going to be against it. So, and the other Republican Party platform issues and cannons are just fantastic. I just recently got to represent uh, a local constituent here in Conway when the government was taking his land, and the statute is squishy. The statute allowed them to take the land but not pay attorney's fees. That's for cities. But in the state when they take your land, and if you get a judgment for a little bit higher, then the state has to pay attorney's fees. So that those kind of laws like that, with myself, is someone that can easily get in there and understand it and how it affects the people because I've litigated them.
Right.
So yeah,
Well, tell people how they can find you on social media if you have a website and get involved.
wonderful. Yeah, so it's I've got a billboard on the highway,
Nice.
CorbittForArkansas.com. I'm getting great feedback, and I'm just excited. Every time I go into a courtroom, I come out pumped up. Every time I'm out campaigning, yeah, I'm doing one of these speeches or talking to people, asking me questions. I'm going to be forthright. I'm going to tell you what I think. And as an engineer, I'm going to gather the facts. If I don't know what's going on, I'm going to go gather the facts. And I can tell you, I'm going to make those decisions from a value standpoint, from my colleagues, my constituents, and my conscience. I'm going to use the 3 C's to represent the people down there in Little Rock.
Tell us your website. Did you tell us?
Oh, it's CorbittForArkansas.com.
Okay.
And I've got Instagram, I got Facebook. I'm going to do some more videos that'll be on my website, www.CorbittForArkansas.com, on all the issues that'll be affecting the local citizens here in Conway.
Anything else you'd like to add before we go?
No, thank you. Vote Corbitt, and thank you so much for your time. I love what y'all do. It's fantastic. Keep up with the scorecards.
We will. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.